And what do you have?
Thank you very much, Linda, for bringing us up to speed on what is happening in the world of sport, and especially now the thing that we're talking about, the Commonwealth Games. And as we promised in the studio, we have the ambassador, or Ambassador John Fix, is the Australian High Commission. Karibu sana to our studio.
Thank you, Robin.
And again, I remind you that is Gideon Sam, the Vice President of the Commonwealth Games Federation, is also joining us today. And of course, our own Stephen Soy, who is the Deputy Treasurer of the National Olympic Committee. Karibuni sana.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I've seen this very magnificent baton from all the way Lagos, I'm told. It's arrived here today. But then the first time it came to East Africa, you landed in Rwanda?
In
Kigali.
Kigali. And then it went to Uganda, and then from Uganda it was in Nigeria. And it's now in Kenya till Saturday, and then we take it to Tanzania.
How is the journey so far? Are you guys enjoying yourself along the way?
Well, I joined the team in Uganda because the way we travel with this Baton as executives of the Commonwealth Games Federation is to give each group an opportunity to go and visit the member states of the Commonwealth Games Federation. So it was Sierra Leone, and then Ghana, and then Rwanda, and then we went to Uganda, Cameroon, and then we spent some time in Lagos, and now we're here, well received here in the capital of Kenya, and I think that insert that actually educated the people of Kenya is very important, because without the history, people will not understand what is this show all about. You know, this fun and this wasting of money and sending people to the Commonwealth Games. And only when they see them coming back with a lot of medals do they pick up what it's all about. But I think that insert was very good as an educational program.
And especially that one of the achievements or one of the missions of Commonwealth Games is to promote humanity. And I think as Kenyans, you've received this with, you know, the kind of enjoyment and celebration that goes with these kind of things.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Well, first, I think we are proud as a nation that we are receiving this baton as from the day it was launched, which was on 13th of March. We are the 7th nation to receive the baton.
Wow.
Well, in the past, we have received the batons, and Kenya has participated in all the Commonwealth Games except for 1986. Which, of course, the reason of the boycott is known to all of us. Now, the baton specifically will be in Kenya for 3 days. And starting from today, it arrived last evening, and we did receive it as members of the National Olympic Committee / Commonwealth Games Association.
Yes.
And today we were privileged that His Excellency the President received the baton. Then we took it also to Parliament, and I think even the relay by the parliamentarians showed some quite different approach in as far as treating, and I think Kenyans were excited. We did later go to the office of the governor of Nairobi County, and he was present in it. Yes. So and tomorrow we are going to the Rift Valley, specifically the home of champions.
Cradle of athletics.
Yes, and I think this will go down in history that Kenya is part of the Commonwealth movement that embraces sport. And I think this is critical and important.
In terms of diplomacy and sport, and looking at the way the baton has been received, I'm very sure Australia back home there and even within the embassy, you must be very happy with the way things are going.
Well, we're delighted to be hosting the Games. We're expecting some 6,000 athletes. One of the unique features of these Games are that the para sports will be part of the Games themselves, and the medal tally from the para sports will also go towards each country's overall tally. So there's no separation this time. 18 able-bodied sports and 7 para sports. One thing the insert didn't mention about Kenya is you are 8th on the table. Only South Africa in Africa is ahead of you. Nigeria in overall standings is behind you. And I'm very confident at these games, on the back of what you achieved at the Olympics, that Kenya will march up that table considerably. I had a very good meeting on Monday with the Cabinet Secretary for Sports, and we discussed not only Kenyan athletics, but the Kenyan boxing is coming back very strongly after some years where you didn't perform as strongly as you should. And of course your sevens rugby team is one of the best in the world, as we have found out to our cost.
Yeah. Of course, you taught us the game, and you can see the team is really picking up. In terms of bringing humanity together, bringing everyone close to one another. We know the history of South Africa now. After all that, the difficult period you went through, you must be knowing the benefits of the Commonwealth Games now that you are the Vice President of the Commonwealth Games Federation.
Look, it was very emotional for us when we returned to the Commonwealth after years of absence due to our policies in South Africa. Yeah. That is when we went to British Columbia in 1994. And I think the entire Commonwealth, it was so emotional to receive back one of their lost sons, so to speak. So when we marched in there, there must have been tears in those stadia to see we are back in the family of the Commonwealth. So yes, for all the countries that are part of this movement, it is very close to their hearts, especially when we are hosted in a country like Australia, who is one of the big brothers of the Commonwealth Games family. So when we go there, everybody feels, I am part. Even if you come with 3 athletes.
That is it.
You're part of the family. We do not keep you out of the games because you've got 3 athletes. If you think about it, there is those islands, Nauru, small island of man, tiny island, but they came to the games, collected their games in weightlifting, 1 gold, 2 silvers, whatever, and off they went to go and celebrate. And that is what it's all about. That humanity that brings us all together and for us to do what is good in the world.
It's Kenya. Kenya is one of the one of the favorite sons of Commonwealth Games. You've gone there, performed, launched careers of so many other athletes from there. I'm sure you're not taking this for granted. There's the fact that Kenya, you just go there, participate, get your gold medals and come back. How is it, helping Kenya in general?
I think generally, first, we do appreciate that it is an opportunity for even young Kenyan athletes to improve or get into high-level competition. And we have seen in the past where some young athletes coming up, talk about somebody like Alphas Kishan, who was developed through the Commonwealth Games. And I think for the next year, we have identified there will be about 24 sports disciplines participating in the 21st Commonwealth Games.
24, that's quite a good number.
24.
But not yet getting to the level of South Africa, I'm sure.
No, but this time we want to make a difference. My brother here should appreciate that. The reason why they have beaten Kenya in terms of the medal tallies is because they engage on some very small sports disciplines that we don't participate.
But of course, a gold medal is a gold medal.
It's a gold medal. And one other very critical issue, as the ambassador said.
Correct you. You have to improve your swimming to beat us.
Yes, we'll do that definitely. But there is this very important thing, which is bringing the humanity together.
Exactly.
You see, these are the only games where both able-bodied and disabled persons play at the same time, share the common facilities like accommodation. And what has happened in the past is actually the Paralympics, who are called in the Commonwealth, elite athletes with disability have added into the medal tallies that the country has got. And I think arising out of that participation, joint participation by both able-bodied and disabled, this has also changed even the thinking in the Olympic movement. That in 2020, there will be only one body running the Olympics. But this is what has been gotten out of the
out of the
Games.
Commonwealth. That's really good. And coming back to you, Man Ambassador, the fact that Australia has been receiving the rest of the world, you're saying the games have gone to Perth, we've gone to Melbourne, 2006 we are in Melbourne.
Yes.
Now we are going to Gold Coast starting from April 4th to 15th next year. You must be a generous country.
Well, we love our sports. I think we share that in common with South Africa and certainly with Kenya. Australians are sports mad, and we welcome the opportunity to host these big events. I'm old enough to remember the 1982 games in Brisbane, and of course we've hosted the Olympics twice in Melbourne and in Sydney. But I just want to pick up a couple of remarks that the President made, and I think it's right and proper that we focus on the sport aspect of this, but really the Commonwealth Games transcend sport in many ways, and it's about values that we all hold dear: grace under pressure, perseverance, discipline, respect for your opponents, and ultimately the camaraderie that comes out of sport transcends the sport itself. So it's very important to keep our gaze on why sport is important, because it's beyond the athletic competition.
We'll take a small commercial break. When we come back, we'll talk about Commonwealth Games and how it has improved maybe the facilities also here in Kenya, and how maybe it has also brought all the African countries together as they approach the Commonwealth Games. And I think once we come back, we'll pick it up from there.